The taxi ride from hell. You won't believe what happened when she got in. Alright, so this story comes from a girl named Lisa. She had a terrifying experience in a taxi that she still can't fully explain. Lisa wasn't the type to believe in ghosts or anything supernatural, but what happened to her that night changed everything. Lisa had just moved to a new city for her job. She didn't know many people yet and was still getting used to the new environment. One evening, she decided to go out with some colleagues to get to know them better. They had a great time, but it got late, and Lisa decided to take a taxi home. She called for a taxi using a popular ride-sharing app and waited outside the bar. The streets were quiet and the night air was cool. Soon, a taxi pulled up and the driver rolled down the window. He was an older man with a friendly smile. "Are you Lisa?" he asked. She nodded and he gestured for her to get in. The car looked a bit old and worn out, but Lisa didn't think much of it. She just wanted to get home. As they drove off, Lisa noticed something odd. The driver kept glancing at her in the rearview mirror, but she brushed it off, thinking he was just making sure she was comfortable. They made small talk, and the driver seemed nice enough, but there was something about him that made her uneasy. After a few minutes, Lisa realized they weren't taking the usual route to her apartment. She asked the driver if he was sure they were going the right way. He just smiled and said he knew a shortcut. Lisa felt a knot of anxiety in her stomach, but didn't want to seem paranoid. They turned down a dark, deserted road, and the city lights faded behind them. Lisa's unease grew, and she decided to text a friend to let them know where she was. But when she looked at her phone, she saw that she had no signal. Her heart started to race. The driver then turned onto an even darker, narrower road, surrounded by thick trees. Lisa's instincts screamed at her that something was very wrong. She asked the driver again where they were going, but this time, he didn't respond. He just kept driving, his eyes fixed on the road. Panic set in, and Lisa tried to open the door, but the child lock was on. She was trapped. She demanded the driver let her out, but he remained silent. The car slowed down as they approached an old, abandoned building. The driver finally spoke, his voice low and menacing. "We're here," he said, turning to look at her with cold, dead eyes. Lisa's heart pounded as she tried to think of a way out. The driver got out of the car and walked around to her side. Desperate, she grabbed her bag and smashed the window with all her strength. The glass shattered, and she scrambled out, cutting herself on the broken shards. She ran into the dark woods, not looking back. She could hear the driver shouting behind her, but she didn't stop. She kept running until she reached a main road where she flagged down a passing car. The driver, a kind woman, saw her panic and quickly let her in. They drove to the nearest police station, where Lisa told them everything. The police went to the location Lisa described, but they found nothing. The abandoned building was there, but the taxi and the driver were gone. They searched the area but found no trace of the man who had taken her. Lisa was shaken but relieved to be safe. She moved to a new apartment and made sure never to take a taxi alone at night again. The experience haunted her, and she still has nightmares about that night. To this day, she doesn't know what the driver's intentions were, and the mystery of who he was remains unsolved. She warns everyone to be careful when taking a taxi, especially late at night. Sometimes, the most ordinary things can turn into your worst nightmare. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.